everyone, welcome back to Grow Your Business with the VA Summit. We have Jenna Carelli here with us today. Yay! And Jenna's going to discuss how to grow your team, how to get that perfect team together. You're working on this and all the back end is going behind, and Jenna's going to help you put everything together or help you how to put everything together. So welcome, Jenna. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So can you tell everybody about yourself and your business?
Yes, I have a consulting firm, so we work with business owners at different levels in their business, and a full team behind me of about 12 or 13 that I have developed. So I can help you build your team coming from a business owner standpoint, but also from a standpoint of the virtual assistant and everything that we've been through in order to grow and be successful with our agency. So I'm here to help you guys, and I'm excited to do so.
Wow. So with the team of 13, what type of people do you have in your team?
So we can get into the hiring process. All of this will be explained in that part of this interview. But I have everybody who working within their own zone of genius, right? So think of like a web developer is only focused on web developing. The copywriter is the copywriter, and the online business manager just manages tasks, right? So we have people in each different area. So when you're thinking of a virtual assistant, they have their own specialty. So we have somebody in each specialty. So we've got tech virtual assistants, we've got graphic designers, we have somebody handling the finances, and then myself as the consultant, right?
So can you explain to everybody what is the benefits of hiring a virtual assistant?
So the benefit for me, and I'll take you back to why I even started creating a team, is because I didn't have time. I am the type of person who will go to YouTube, who will go to Google and DIY or try to DIY everything myself. But as I started building my business, I knew where where my specialties lied. I knew what I needed to do, and it was audio, it was visual, it was meeting people in person, and it was not creating PDFs on Canva, figuring out the tech stuff, trying to be online with customer support on my web development. It was not in that area, and that was taking up way too much of my time. So the benefit of hiring a virtual assistant is really to give you back your time, but also allow you to move into the space of only working on the things that light you up, that keep you happy. So you're staying in that column of fascinations instead of doing things that you're simply tolerating or are frustrating you every single day. Not just in business, but in your life too, right?
Yeah, that's so true. Because it's like you want to grow as a business owner, but then it's like you have all this other stuff that you need just for your business to grow.
Yeah,
So it's hard.
absolutely.
So when should a business owner even consider, you know what, it's time for me to hire a team of people or like just to start off? When is it time?
It may not be the right time for you when you're first starting out in business, but it is the right time to start considering. So I tell everybody that I work with that you need to systematize everything that you do. Even if you're just starting out, what are your day-to-day tasks? Keep track of those tasks on notebook paper, in a journal, Evernote, somewhere in the computer, so that when you are ready to hire, you have a way of work already, and you can actually hand something over to the virtual assistant instead of, when I first hired my first virtual assistant, I was like, I don't know, people are telling me I need to hire you. I don't know why, you tell me what to do, but that's not the correct way to do things. So you should be considering your hire the day you decide you're starting a company, a business, and start writing down your tasks so that when you are ready to hire, you can pass those tasks off and have them handle those things that are just, they're reoccurring every single day, but now you don't have to do them. They can start small and you can add to their work as they grow. So I do think it is important to start considering your first hire immediately.
Wow, I never thought about that, like just writing down everything that you do. It makes sense.
We forget. A lot of it is just, we do it subconsciously and we don't realize how important it is in our business because they're day-to-day tasks that are important to us. So we get them done, but we forget we forget they're in our rotation unless we write them down, and we can easily pass them off if we
So what is an onboarding process like when it's finally time to bring on somebody? What is that process?
Yeah, so you want to obviously have contracts in place, right? You want to have contracts in place. You want to interview. You don't just hire anybody off the internet because they're in a Facebook group thread saying, I want to help you. I would go through an interview process, right? And ask them very specific questions. One of my favorite questions to ask is, what is your zone of genius, right? What lights you up? What do you love to do? If you're hiring somebody for graphic design and they answer that question and say they love tech, right? And even if you give them multiple options, let them check the box of, their priority, what they absolutely love to do, and then their secondary and maybe even a third choice, so that you can, look at everybody and pick accordingly based on what you need done. The other question I always ask is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? There are a lot of virtual assistants out there who are working the job as a virtual assistant to get them somewhere else, right? They want to make money so that they can go start their own business in a completely different industry. So in order to hire and hire smart, I would ask that question and make sure that their answer is what you're hiring them for, is exactly what they want to do in 5 years. So that also solidifies in your head that you've got somebody who really wants this job and cares about the tasks that you'll be giving them. So I guess that's first. Do your research, then get them on the phone and interview. Then once you've decided to hire, contracts are important. Definitely discussing how they're going to be paid and the communication methods and the way of work. And just make sure that you're constantly communicating and touching base with your virtual assistants. Make sure that you're happy, be open to feedback at all times. We need to be open-minded and caring for each other at all times when we're working together.
Yeah, that's good. That's good advice. So when do they know they hired that right one? Like if they hire, probably they have 4 or 5 interviews, how do they know, okay, you know what, this is the one?
It's hard. It really is. And all of the processes that I just explained help you to hire the right one. You're doing yourself a favor by, like I said, getting on the phone with them, because if they have all the qualifications that you're looking for, but you just don't vibe, like there's something that's not vibing on that phone call, then don't, right? Because there's somebody else out there with qualifications that you'll get along with much better, and communication is absolutely key. So it takes time also. There's a transitional period. Like I said, if you're systematizing your work, you have a way of work, and you have to be okay and trustworthy to hand that off to somebody else. It's difficult for both parties, something like that. So definitely give it some time. Be thoughtful in your hiring process, but don't be afraid to fire fast. And it's not a negative thing. You're actually helping the other person out as well if you have to let somebody go because if something's just not vibing. I like to say 3 months. Give it 3 months, and if it's not working well, definitely look for your new hire before you fire. So that there's also that transitional period, and if you have a good relationship with that person, they might be able to transition themselves. Your old hire could transition the new hire in and let them go. I always put in my contract 2 weeks. I want to notice wants to leave, and I'll give you I plan on letting you go, so that they're not surprised and check when they're expecting.
Wow, that's great. So when a business owner, the business is growing and they have more than one person and they on their team, how do they handle that? How do they handle more than one VA? Because it's like they're trying to handle their business, but then on top of that, they also have to handle multiple virtual assistants that's on their team.
And this is where I say OBM. This is where I say hire an online business manager. That's not going to be the answer for everybody, but it is the first hire that I made. So in my business, I realized that I didn't want to do the task management. I didn't want to manage or micromanage the project in my company. So I hired a business manager to do that part, right? So if you don't have an online business manager, get to a point where you and your VAs communicate and trust each other, because you don't want to be micromanaging. You don't want to have them, you assign a task and then they have to come back to you and ask you a ton of questions about that task. You end up spending just as much time as you would have spent, if not more, doing it yourself, right? Because of all the questions and micromanaging that takes place. So I always go back to communication and honesty, but also having some kind of structure set up. There are project management tools and systems that you can use online to keep communication easier between all of your VAs. The interview process, again, if you're hiring for a tech VA, but that tech VA also understands design, overlap, like the two VAs may be able to step into each other's shoes if needed. So communication not only between you as the business owner and the virtual assistants, but communication between the virtual assistants as well. I have found having video conferences with the entire team is helpful because they get to know each other. So it's not just a you and them relationship, it's a whole team relationship. So they get to know each other and they're not afraid to ask each other questions before they go to the head honcho, right? If you're the business owner, maybe you're the last step if they don't have their questions answered. That's what you want.
So you need to hire that manager to manage everything for you. That way you're not dealing with this person, and this person. You just have one person.
Yeah, decide whether that's something you want to do. If you like to manage tasks and projects and people, employees, that's perfectly fine. But again, that goes back to what really lights you up, what makes you happy, where are you seeing the most return on your investment in your business? Is it when you're project managing and, doing those little tasks in your business, or is it something else? And you have to decide what that is for you. And then, maybe your first hire is a project manager, online business manager. That term, I did not know what that meant when I hired an OBM. I was like, what's an OBM, right? So don't be confused by that term. There are virtual assistants who can step into the project management, task management role, and they can kind of do both, and they love that too. So don't go out and be like, what's an OBM? Now I need to hire an OBM, but you can have that conversation with your interviewee when you're speaking to them about stepping into that role, either for the long term or short term, until you really build up your team and decide what's working and what you can set aside for a while.
That's so funny because when I first heard the term OBM, I did not know what it was. I kept saying OBM. I didn't know what it was.
Me neither. I put out a post in a Facebook group that I needed a virtual assistant, and an OBM reached out and explained to me what she was and who she was. And when she told me what it is that she did, I was like, yes, that's exactly what I need. But I had no idea that that's what you were called. So people call themselves many different things these days. So I would just dig deeper and don't be afraid to ask questions to really understand. If you don't know what a term is, you're not the only one, right? Don't be afraid to just ask, what does that mean? Because you're not the only one. And it's helpful for you to know who your hire is before you hire them.
It is. So where did you suggest are some good places to go to look for a virtual assistant?
Facebook groups are really, really great for this. Definitely make sure that you're in a group that has virtual assistants in it. Don't just pop into any Facebook group and start posting about hiring. Go to the description, make sure it's even allowed within the group that you have. That's how I got started. So before I knew people who could refer, I would go see inside Facebook. Now, because I have a team of virtual assistants, I have an online business manager who works for me, we hire everybody based off of referrals. If I'm looking for a videographer, I will ask my designer if she knows a videographer that she could refer to my team. And we go right off. Those are the only people I get on the phone with are referrals, because I mean, you can't go wrong, right? If you trust somebody and they're referring somebody else and saying they're a really good fit, I think that's the best place to start. If you don't have referrals, then post in a Facebook group or seek people out who maybe you're following on Instagram or Facebook that you feel like you have a connection with, and they would give you an honest referral. And you can, if somebody I didn't know reached out to me and wanted a referral, I'd be happy to share anybody on my team. So don't be afraid to do that either. A lot of it is fear-based, right? We don't know whether we are allowed to reach out to people that we don't know, but 9 times out of 10, if somebody's down to earth and cares about helping others in this industry, they will absolutely give you their referrals.
That makes sense, because I think the referrals will help, and it will calm that business owner, especially if it's their very first time hiring somebody. At least they already know their work ethics. Like if so-and-so worked with them, their business is growing. Okay, maybe if I work with this person, you know what, I could be on the same level as well. So referrals are good. Yeah. They are good. So if a business owner feels that the VA they hire is not a good fit for them, how should they handle that problem?
You got to let them go. I know it's hard, right? We don't want to do that. We don't want to burn bridges, and we don't have to burn bridges. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say, if you feel like your virtual assistant is not working, is not a good fit, they feel the same way, right? So somebody's, they feel that something might be off, and we've had that happen within our company, and we've had a conversation with the individual, and they didn't want to leave. Like they would recognize and acknowledge the fact that they may have been holding back or, being subpar with their actions maybe, and they step back up. So as long as you're okay with that and you want to keep that person around, that's fine. But definitely do not be afraid to let somebody go, but find that next referral or find that replacement prior to doing so, just so that there's an ease of transition. You're not rolling back into doing the job yourself, because if you do that, you're going to end up getting stuck there, because you're going to realize again, oh, if I just do this myself, it'll get done much faster. It'll get done the way I want it to do. And you're going to neglect the fact that you do need somebody doing that task for you so that you can be elsewhere making money and doing what is really your zone of excellence and what you should be doing. And that happens to me a lot, because if I look at a team member and I want a task done today and it's not ready, because I have a background in doing the tech and doing the web development and design, I just want to jump in and complete it myself. But my OBM is like, nope, Jenna, like back into your lane and stop overstepping into other people's areas, because it doesn't help your business. So find a replacement and absolutely let them go if you have to let them go.
That makes sense. So you've hired VAs. What made you do it?
I had a child. Yeah, so I was a paralegal for 6 years and found out I was pregnant with my daughter in October of 2015. And so I knew that I was transitioning out of the corporate world and I was starting a business full-time from home. And I knew I had 9 months to really ramp it up because I was growing a child. And so I was working a lot during that time. It was just me and my growing belly, and my husband and my dog in the house, so I was able to work around the clock in order to ramp up my business. And then when I had my daughter, I didn't really realize how much time would be taken away from me. And my business was seeing a lot of momentum, but I could only work. It was like 4 hours a week. I was like, I can only work, like really focused work, 4 hours a week. So it was either try and build a business on 4 hours a week or hire a team. And I hired 6 people. So I hired my OBM was the first hire and 5 other VAs all in 1 month. So I did the interview process and then I hired. And because of that, it was a huge risk, right? Because, you know, I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew I needed help and I couldn't do it myself. So recognize when you need help. Maybe don't hire 6 people right off the bat, but I did give myself, you know, 30 days, 60 days. If this doesn't work, then you just let them go, right? If it's not going to be something that's momentum building in my business, let them go, and that's fine. We'll figure something else out, right? So I hired because I recognized I could not do it all myself and I needed help. And that's my way of getting help, was to hire a team to do the tasks that I didn't really want to do. I was simply tolerating. I was just doing them because I knew I had to, right? But then that allowed me to work with my clients via, you know, video or audio, and I could do that anywhere. You know, I could put my headphones in and have a client call while I'm nursing a child, a baby, you know, like that was easy for me to do, but it was the stuff that made me, you know, had me sitting at my desk, you know, on chat support with some web system that like, it wasn't benefiting me. So time, and I'm sure we can all relate to needing to hire because of time, right?
So did you feel that shift in your business when you hired everybody over, and then did you just go, I feel better now?
Absolutely. I was a first-time mom, and I actually felt like a weight had been lifted because I didn't have as many responsibilities after adding on the responsibility of motherhood now. So yeah, for me it was hard because I still am that person who wants to do it all myself. I feel like, you know, it's not going to get done correctly if it doesn't get done by me. And I'm 2.5 years into having a team now, and I still feel that way. I still have to pull myself out of that thought process. But it, you know, if you hire the right person, if you go through the process of interviewing them and hiring them for specific tasks, that's what their zone of genius is. That's what they're there for. And they're better at it than you are. So that's right? And you do yours.
I like that part. They're better at it than you are, which is true. Because for your business owner, your job is to, you know, if you're a coach, you're coaching somebody here. But if your business, that's there. But then your business isn't Instagram, podcast, putting that together. You know, your business isn't web designing or trying to do a WordPress site. It's not that. But there's people out there to help you.
Yeah, and you may have a creative side to you. I mean, I have creative sides to me where I would love to spend a whole day on Canva, like designing something or just letting my creative juices flow. But recognize that it's just you trying to relax and be creative. It's not the thing that you want to do day in and day out, right? If you don't want to do the task you're doing 5 years from now, every single day as your job, delegate it out or automate it if you can automate it. But that's the thought process we need to have with ourselves and communicating with ourselves. Do I really like doing this, or could I actually make money by hiring somebody else to do it for me so that my business can, you know, see momentum faster?
Wow, that's true. So in conclusion for everybody, what would you tell somebody who's like, I think I need a team, I'm not sure I need a team? What would you tell them about, you know what, just do it?
That's like the motto of my life. So I will try anything just to see if it's going to work. If it doesn't work, that's fine. Be okay with letting it go. I will be honest with you and tell you my first hire, I think I hired 3 virtual assistants before I hired my full team, with the mindset of I want to hire cheap. I don't care who it is. I'm not even going to interview them. And I did that, and I hired cheap, and they never lasted longer than 30 days because I didn't take them through that process. So I was in the wrong mindset at that time. When I had my daughter, I was like, okay, I can't afford to hire and then fire and then have to hire again. The whole process of hiring over and over and over again is draining. So just do it once, you know, for the sake of your sanity, do it once and do it correctly so that you don't have to fire. And I think I've let, in 2.5 years, think one person left, not because we fired her, because her business just took her in a different direction. We've only added to our team. So the process does work. But I do agree with you that just do it. I think you should just do it, give it a go, give it a really good try. And if it's not helping, I mean, if you have a business in an industry that profits really well as a solopreneur, as a one-man show, that's perfectly fine too. But you'll never know if a virtual assistant is going to be beneficial if you never have one.
That is so true. It is so true. So I want to thank Jenna so much for being a part of my summit, helping me. I hope everybody learns so much. If you have a business, you want that business to grow, you can't do everything by yourself. You need the help, you need the support, and the only way to do this is hire people. There's VAs out there for everybody. As you're going through this summit, you're learning there's a VA for everybody. So thank you, Jenna, so much for being a part of my summit. Thank you, everybody, for watching How to Grow Your Business with the VA Summit. My tagline should be just do it. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jenna.
Thank you for having me.